comes up against a tough opponent in Richards Bay. Ronnie Gabriel said this week that his side are facing arguably the best team in Africa on current form. He's now assisted by Papi Zotwane, who had a hand in dumping Orlando Pirates out of the League Cup earlier this season when with Magesi. The ingredients are here for an absolute barn burner as Orlando Pirates enjoy a last huddle before kickoff. 10 times winners since the inception of the National Cup in the 70s. Pirates' success is actually only surpassed by rivals Kaizer Chiefs in this competition. But Izinyamigikane have an opportunity to do what no side in the PSL era has done before and win this competition 3 times in a row, to match a feat achieved only by the legendary Buccaneers side of 50 years ago. The only side in National Cup history to win it 3 years in succession. And hopefully, having set the table for you and for the rest of the viewers around the country, we can enjoy what promises to be a splendid afternoon of action as Mahan Kota does really well to retrieve the ball, having initially lost it. They just cannot escape at the moment. Yes, Patrick Maswangani. He, like Moki, was so influential last season. In this competition, of course, is what I'm referring to. 4 goals. Here's Dino van Rooyen. Young and Ndlozi had to step in when Libitso was injured in Egypt a week ago. He is on the bench today, a man who turned 22 just last month. A wonderful introduction to the Buccaneers faithful against the club of the century. Makiseni Makaula finding an option out wide. Mufokeng, match winner in the final last year, hoping to produce more magic in this edition, I'm sure. Interestingly, he scored in the first round in that 6-0 demolition of Crystal Lake, and then only again did he net the winner, a fabulous winner in a showpiece against Mamelodi Sundowns. Now there's space here for Dino van Rooyen. Can't force his way past Koskon Ndaba, who had a big hand in that famous win at the Orlando Stadium at the end of last season. Did Ndaba. It was from his long throw, and the ball was helped on by Nsundwana, I think, for Sanele Barnes, now departed to score the winner.
Great start to the game, a good pace. Orlando Pirates trying to keep Richards Bay in their own half. This will be the modus operandi the whole afternoon, where Richards Bay will try and win the ball, use the pace and speed of Mosomme and also Nsundwana. So it's going to be an interesting one as to how does Pirates deal with the transitions.
Putuma, excellent in the air all season. Actually the player in the Bedway Premiership that's attempted the most headed shots. Turns 23 next month. Putuma, each year he just seems to increase his goal tally by a little bit, marginally, and he's on 3 currently in the Betway Premiership.
He's a striker that thrives on supply.
Yeah.
A striker that if you give him the supply will get you the goals. He's on 3 goals now, which is the same number of goals as last season.
Mohlami can't find the correct pass. Dion Hotto first appeared in this competition over a decade ago, then in the colours of Le Montfort Golden Arrows back in 2014, as Talenta Bata glides forward. There's the Namibian Hotto, Bata again. Tapela Kogi. Melusi Buthelezi to Sesani. Interesting cup history for Thabiso Sesani. First made an entrance in this competition 4 years ago when Orlando Pirates beat Utungati. Then he went out on loan and played against Orlando Pirates in 2023 when his loan side All-Stars suffered a 2-0 defeat to the Buccaneers. There he is on the ball. Unbelievable composure and great diagonals. This time he's played it over the top for Maswanganyi. Prevents, or at least attempts to prevent the goal kick.
Interesting to look at Mabua, very versatile. We know him as a left fullback. Today playing at left centre back, accompanying that man in Zineka in the centre of defence. So his ability to then deal with Mabasa, positional play will be key for him this afternoon. How will he be tactically in terms of the discipline?
Yeah, you're right in pointing out he's more recognised as a left-sided full-back. Today at centre-half alongside Zineka. Keegan Allen, as well as being out ill at the moment, is also on 3 yellow cards, which is crucial when you think about who Richards Bay play next. It's Magesi this coming Friday. So had he been fit, would they have risked him? They are not risking Zikali today, probably for the very same reason. He played in the DDC yesterday, but also they can't afford for such a prominent player, despite his tender age, to be absent in that crucial relegation tussle against Magesi in 5 days' time. Dube battling away with Makaula. First played in this cup back in 2016, did Makleni Makaula with Free State Stars. They were knocked out by Orlando Pirates deep into the tournament, a 4-2 victory for the Buccaneers.
This is the only tournament that Makaula got a goal in last season.
Yeah.
Only 1 goal last season. Has been fantastic in that midfield for Orlando Pirates so far in terms of breaking play and also protecting the back four.
Orlando Pirates were finding the back of the net with regularity in the Nedbank Cup last season. He scored 14 goals in the opening 3 rounds. That 6-0 win over Crystal Lake was their biggest victory since the National Cup became the Nedbank Cup back in 2008. They followed that up with a 4-0 win over Hungry Lions, 4-2 over Amazulu. Little resistance in the semi-final, 3-1 against Chippa United, and then that absolute classic in the showpiece against Mamelodi Sundowns.
Still waiting for one of the midfield players from both teams to put his foot on the ball. The game has started at a very high pace, and the heat might be a factor later on in the half.
Low. Shlongo, rather, combining with Flakasani Mtetwa. Zineka. Mabua. Here's Otieno. Oh, living dangerously. Gets the better of Mabasa there, the Kenyan, who hasn't turned out in any of Richards Bay's last 5 games. Salim Magula has been keeping goal. But Ian Otieno is the cup goalkeeper, it appears, this season. He played in all 3 of their Carling knockout matches. And it's worth pointing out, across the 7 league games that he has taken part in, he did play in both fixtures against Orlando Pirates. In fact, he was culpable for the goal in the most recent meeting between the 2 sides.
And to face, it's what the referee has blown for. But will he produce the card? Because it's clear that the end to face should be a yellow card. He seems to have missed it. He stopped play because it's a head injury, because he's gone down from a touch that was on his face.
It's been a trend since Friday. We've seen a few of them. There's another decent-looking foray forward from Richards Bay. That's Tabisa Society there to sort it out. A man who perhaps was lucky to stay on the field in their first meeting of the season, as the Natal Rich Boys again make some inroads. It was right about this time in the game when Richards Bay hosted Orlando Pirates back in September that Sesani tangled with Justice Figueiredo, a Swatini international who is suspended today. I won't ask Pumuta to reiterate his thoughts on whether it should have been a red or not. But did escape with only a yellow as Orlando Pirates went on to win that game, courtesy of a terrific free kick from Kabelo Dlamini, who's on the bench today.
Good counter press from Orlando Pirates, Tito and also Rile Mofokeng taking away space and time from Gumede. He had no choice but to tuck the jersey of Rile Mofokeng. The referee says he's breaking a promising attack and hands him a yellow card. Good call.
Rightfully so. Absolutely no effort to play the ball there. Breaking a promising attack. So Orlando Pirates with a free kick just inside the opposition half. Sisani. Looking for Dion Hotto. What a magnificent touch. Now can he make something happen from here? Here's Rile Mofokeng for company. That's alive to the danger. Here's Tulani Gumede for Richards Bay. Now Mofokeng again. Darts away from Mutlami. Perhaps wasn't anticipating the pass into that space. Move breaking down for the visiting side. Hockey wins it against Putuma, but it fell there for Gumede. This is Putuma again. Putalezi gets it clear. Played one game in the Nedbank Cup last season. That was in that 4-0 win over Hungry Lions, as Mofokeng is side down by a man who's already on a yellow card. So Tsefaza Mabasa is immediately making a case for a dismissal here.
Nippy feet, quick thinking. Gets to the ball first, mistimes his tackle, that is Dube. Mabasa just reminds the ref to say it's the same man that you booked earlier on.
Yeah.
They're having a chat to say, you are looking for your second one. I'm aware. Just come down. He's going to have a tricky 70 minutes for the rest of this game dealing with Rile.
100%. The way I decoded that was that he pointed to his watch to say, it's only because it's this early in the game that you're getting away with this. I think maybe one key point to make here is that Mabuya, who's injured today, was one of the key reasons why this fixture was quite tough for Orlando Pirates against Richards Bay. He's done a very good job of shutting down Rile Mofokeng in the previous encounters, and Dube is having a little bit of an issue here. Mofokeng, Makaula, Mabasa. Oh, just can't squeeze it through Maswangani, but Mbata has it. Van Rooyen. Maswangani, blocked away by Mabua.
They've remained compact. That is Richards Bay. Difficult for Orlando Pirates to find the pockets in between the lines. Good leadership coming from that man in your picture, Mzineka. The way that they're tracking the runners has been so excellent in the first 13 minutes or so. That is Richards Bay.
Mabasa turning it over to Nkota, but Richards Bay able to clear their lines. Now Makaula again. Hockey. Maswangani out to Dion Hotto. Now Mofokeng. But good ball for Van Rooyen. Awkward. Manages to connect with that, does Maswangani, but not powerfully enough. They cross slightly behind him.
took his eyes off the ball, to already looking at where he's going to play the ball, and he loses focus on the main object, which is the ball in that moment. Goes under his feet.
Of Orlando Pirates, the last 3 tournaments that they've come into as defending champs, they have always got off to a winning start. As champions, as 2011 champions, they started their next campaign a 1-0 win over Itaquini Coastal. Late win there, Siyabonga Sangweni scoring in the last 5 minutes or so. As 2014 champions, they entered the competition with a 4-0 win over 10-man Tornado FC. Tandani Chumayelo scored a brace in that game, actually. And then, as the 2023 champions last season, they entered the tournament with a 6-0 win. So will that trend continue as Dube gets his head to it en route to Rele Mofokeng?
It's interesting to see that the game is played at such a high pace and intensity. It's hot down there.
Yeah.
It's difficult to stay in the sun, but these players are really giving their commitment. The runs that they are making on and off the ball, you wouldn't say is this hot down here in Umlazi.
Now the Kimberley Speedster fouled here by Langelitle Mhlongo. And the Pirates are taking it quickly. Maswanganyi! Oh, he's brought down in the area. Alfred Chabani waves away the appeals. And in fact, he's gone over to book Maswanganyi.
Good combination plays from a quick free kick from Tito. Finds Rele Mofokeng, good interchange. Sells the dummy to Mabua, and he goes down. Was there a touch? Maybe it will be clearer from this angle. Tito Maswanganyi on the ball, sells the dummy. Grant?
That's why you're next to me.
The angles are not giving me the best of the angles. I don't know which angle that... we'll check for another angle for our viewers. We'll give them another angle.
Mohlame, poor clearance. Mofokeng, Maswanganyi, oh man! Just over the crossbar.
Good feet movement from Rele to win the ball back. You can see what Tito wants to do. He wants to use the instep technique just to put it on the far corner. He's slightly leaning back, hence it goes high. Good idea, not the execution that the Buccaneers would have wanted.
Patrick Maswanganyi, as well as Sekhovasa Mabasa and Dlamini on the bench, and Tapelo Koki have an opportunity, if any of them were to score today, to move level with Pirates' top scorers in this cup since 2008, since it became the Nedbank Cup. They're all on 4 goals. Kermit Erasmus, Timokosi Lorch, Opamanyisa and Tendai Ndoro have all scored 5 since Nedbank came on board as sponsors.
It's the follow-through. He does get the ball, Mabua, but the follow-through catches Mabasa.
So, let's see. Convinced yet?
Would he have gone down untouched if he had an opportunity to still continue?
Away by Dino van Rooyen. Daba has a long throw, but not really in the kind of vicinity where he can put any pressure on the box. Mabasa. 5 Nedbank Cup goals over the years for Tshegofatso Mabasa. 4 of them have come with Pirates, 1 with Bloemfontein Celtic, and it came against Richards Bay. There's Dionhot. Mufuke. Takapine Shlong. Now Gumede coming away with it. Fatuma wants it played into space. Islamic able to wriggle free.
Underrated the amount of work that Makaula does for this Orlando Pirates side. The way he moved across to the left-hand side to delay the attack with him putting pressure on Gumede. That is something that is so underrated, but it's an amazing job that he's doing in this midfield for Orlando Pirates as the CDM.
Okay. 3 goals in the cup last season, 2 games against Crystal Lake, 1 in that semi-final win over Chippa United. And we'll remind you again that this is his first start of the season. Tsundwana delivered in with the outside of his boots, but far too close to Buthelezi. There's Makaula. There's no one on the park for Orlando Pirates who's a suspension risk ahead of the derby, because Natsipisi will be back from suspension. Mahankota gets a bit of Ndaba. Slightly behind Mufukeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Patrick Maswangani. From outside the area, sticks it past Otieno. Orlando Pirates midway through the opening period have the advantage.
For me, it's the ball over the top. It's the persistence of Moha Nkota. It's the never-die attitude from Nkota to say, I'll get there, I'll fight for the ball. The cut back to find Rile Mufukeng. It's Tito's late run into the box to be able to receive. It's a difficult opportunity to take for Tito Maswangani. 3rd goal of the season in all competition. For me, it's the work that is done by Moha Nkota to be able to give that cut back to find Rile Mufukeng. He waits and waits for Tito to get into position. He's under pressure to have a shot at goal at this instance, but secondary assist, Nkota, assist, Rile Mufukeng, Tito Maswangani, the late run, the timing, the ability to finish under pressure. Well taken goal, Tito.
Well, it's hard to tell there if it loops up off anyone. Tito Maswangani has the opening goal of the game. A man who was so influential in the Nedbank Cup. And they won it last season. 4 goals he scored. He did net in the opening round against Crystal Lake, as they hammered half a dozen. And now, the following season, he's again off the mark in the last 32. Orlando Pirates, far and away in this campaign, at least in the league, are the side that have scored the most goals from outside the area. And we know in the CAF Champions League, they also have been banging them in from outside the area. And here's another from distance.
The last time I counted was 8 goals from outside the area. I think that one will be goal number 9 from outside the box in all competitions.
In all competitions, yeah. It's 7 in the Betway Premier, if I'm not mistaken, and then Nkota's goal in the opening round of the CAF Champions League. Nice little flick. Slok rolls it into space and gets the shot away after Dube had made a run forward. Here he is again, floating in the cross. Dino van Rooyen getting it clear.
Better from Richards Bay. good ball rotation, patience on the ball. They need Mhlongo and also Tlakusani Mthethwa to put their foot on the ball, because they're playing at the same, trying to play the same pace as Orlando Pirates, and they're losing a lot of position. Good counter press.
But crowded by 3 Richards Bay players. Sisani freeing Nkota. He's had so much joy on this right-hand side. Again, he goes tearing forward. This time, Daba repels him and picks out a good ball here for Motlame. He's making his first start since August, not of last year, but of 2023. Former Tungati man. Recruited for all the goals he scored for Tungati in the NFD, 14 across 2 seasons. Hasn't quite come right for him yet at Richards Bay, but gets an opportunity today. In the absence of Zikali, a talented youngster.
He's the son of the legendary Orlando Pirates midfielder Tsovi Lagazi. You can see the resemblance is there, playing also in that offensive midfield position as his father. So far having to do a lot of defensive work, because he needs to track Makaula and the likes of Umbata when they come to receive.
As he done by Makaula. Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same 2 players combined. And Orlando Pirates look like they are running away with it.
The crowd goes with Tito. But for me, it's the work that has been done by Kinder Joy, is the work that has been done by Cocomelon. Tito Maswangani is just putting the icing on the cake. The work from Muhau Nkota to slow down and wait for Rile Mufokeng. Good work by Makaula. Look at Nkota, he waits, finds Rile Mufokeng, waits for Tito Maswangani to get into the box. The understanding between the 3 players is the give and go from Kinder Joy, who's Muhau Nkota, finds Rile Mufokeng on that D-line. The ability to rest, to wait for Tito Maswangani to get into position. Goal number 4 in all competitions. Goal number 2 in this game. It's a brace for Tito. Looks like Orlando Pirates are running away with it.
And it looks like Ronnie Gabriel was correct in his assertion that Orlando Pirates are one of the top teams, if not the top team in Africa currently. Well, it's not all too often that you see 2 goals in quick succession. Not necessarily coming from the same person. That's not common, but not all too rare. But then the same player having assisted both goals, a little rarer. The same player having got the secondary assist, the same player having got the assist, the same player having got the goal, practically 3 minutes apart.
A lot of people talk about the assist. Not a lot of people talk about the secondary assist. He's the goal scorer, Tito Maswangani, 2 goals so far in this game. But the products of the Orlando Pirates development, they're the ones that manufacture this in Muhau Nkota and also Rile Mufokeng. But the ability to see the space and use the space late on in that half from Tito has been excellent in the first 45.
Well, remarkable that his first season back in South African football, 2 seasons ago with Super Sports United, 16 or so games, no goals. And then really found his touch with the Buccaneers. Well, now he has plenty of time to chase his first senior hat-trick. Maswangani. A brace he has achieved before in this competition, the 4-2 win over Amazulu. That was last season.
He's 2 away from what he scored in this competition last season.
Yeah.
Because Tito Maswangani, 5 games in the Nedbank last season, 4 goals to go together with the 3 assists. 2 already in the first game.
Okay. Sub-appearance in that 8-1 win over Rumo Gallants in the league for Tapelo Poki, and then more recently in the 2-1 home win over Siap Bulizda. Nkota. Well, sometimes when you're in this type of form, you'll try anything because it might just come off for you. Tetra gets his foot to it ahead of Maswangani. Now it's really Mufokeng. Nice ball to find him. Continues on. Dube is looking cautious whenever Mufokeng's up against him, as Motlame fails to control.
Wrong decision making. A good opportunity for Richards Bay. A 2v1 opportunity.
Now, this has traditionally been a game of very tight margins. The last 3 have all ended 1-0. And prior to that, 2 0-0 draws, one of which was in the League Cup and was settled on penalties. The only time this game has produced more than 1 goal was their second ever meeting. That was during Richards Bay's debut season. A 2-0 win for Orlando Pirates away from home. Terence Tukumanja and Saleng on the score sheet. And could we see a goal tally today that eclipses that? Seems likely now.
I love talent and Mbata in that midfield. The progressive pass that he's always looking to play. Caught at the willingness to run beyond the last line. You can see the coach, Gumed, a little bit frustrated to say, you need to double up in that midfield. You need to take away space and time. And so that's something that they did very well in the first 15 minutes. I think they're tiring because of the heat.
Van Rooyen can't work his ball through. Tetra. Sundwana. Motlame. Ball for Ndaba. Does get the cross in. Motlame. Hit the woodwork. Almost reduced the arrears, did Richards Bay.
The counter press does not go well from Orlando Pirates. They get out of the press, that is Richards Bay. Good dummy play, second dummy play is the sheer effect for me. Masome should be getting that in the back of the net. Gumede does well to let the ball run onto his path. Buthelezi lucky with that ricochet from the upright. Lucky that he doesn't go into the back of the net. A great move coming from Richards Bay in that moment.
The game's first corner. Buthelezi knew nothing about that ricochet. Absolutely nothing.
But for me, it's the technical quality. Orlando Pirates are trying to press them on the side. The line becomes the extra defender for Orlando Pirates, but it's the hold-up play coming from Mtsundana that starts everything up. But Richards Bay unlucky in that moment. It was a very good move. It shows that if you have players that have the ability to get out of the press, then you're going to create opportunities. Unlucky for Richards Bay.
Oh, Richards Bay have only ever scored 1 in their 7 meetings with Orlando Pirates. That was at the Orlando Stadium last season. Sanele Barnes with a great finish after Daba's long throw. That game actually has a lot of significance. It was the first time in 8.5 years that a team from KZN had gone to the Orlando Stadium and won. 25 games unbeaten against KZN opponents at their home ground until Richards Bay did the unthinkable. That was under coach Vusumuzi Vilakazi, who, by the way, is here at the Kings Velatini Stadium watching from the stands. But Maswangani. Kota laying it off for Dino van Rooyen, who perhaps wasn't prepared for the pass. Kota again. Tackled by Langelihle Mhlongo.
I love the big brother effect at Orlando Pirates on the side. As soon as Nkota is fouled, look how quick Dino van Rooyen says, my younger brother, I'm going in. The same on the left-hand side is Dion Otto and Rile Mufokeng. A good counter press from Orlando Pirates, but good fighting spirit.
Yep, shielded behind by Dion Hotto. It was Hotto who had his penalty saved, his opening penalty saved when Richards Bay knocked Orlando Pirates out of the Carling knockout last season. Dion Hotto, who is approaching 30 appearances in this competition, did mention it's been 11 years since he first appeared in the Nedbank Cup. He had his penalty saved last season in the League Cup by Pilasani Manqele, who had just turned 20 years old. That was the big story of that particular game. Hotto. Makaula. Decent defensive work done by Sipiwe Teneka. Teneka has been with Richards Bay all through their presence in the first division. They started appearing in the Nedbank Cup in 2018. In fact, their first ever Nedbank Cup game was a triumphant 5-0 winners over Young Tigers. Then they were knocked out in the last 16 by Bloemfontein Celtic the following year. Also made it through the first round, a 2-1 win over Free State Stars. Then in the last 16, knocked out by Tshegofatso Mabasa and Bloemfontein Celtic. First 3 appearances actually in the Nedbank Cup, they always made it through.
I'm loving the battle between Ndawa and Nkota. Yeah. It's one to watch. Trying to be first man onto the ball all the time, trying to be firm in the tackle, that is Ndawa. Nkota trying to use his trickery. And an interesting battle down the right-hand side of Orlando Pirates, the left-hand side for Richards Bay.
2 young players, 22-year-old versus a 20-year-old. Lucky now for the Buccaneers. Sesani. Lucky over the top, too strong for Nkota.
The quality of the men, the leadership qualities of the men. You wouldn't say that he's starting his first game for Orlando Pirates today. So far this season, it's played only 7 minutes. And he's not showing in the performance so far.
2 very, very brief cameos. The first of those coming only last month at demolition of Marumo Gallants.
6 minutes against Marumo Gallants, a minute against Belouizdad. Gets to start today. Dons the captain's armband with the suspension of CVC not being available today.
Gumede surveys his options. Wasted free kick in the end. Mr. Buthelezi has his hands on it. A man made his first Nedbank Cup appearance 3 years ago in a 1-0 win over Kaizer Chiefs, then with TS Galaxy. Here is again Buthelezi.
Also getting his first minutes of the season today. Interesting to see what he did last season with the 10 clean sheets in 15 appearances in all competitions.
Mklami. Option on his outside. Gumede, first time crossing. Oh, and then not nearly enough behind that from Tsundwana, who wasn't under all too much pressure either. Just snatched at it. Needed to take more care.
He needs to be scoring goals in Zundwana. It's on his favorite foot.
Oh, man.
There's two players, Muhlome waiting for it. Zundwana should be wrapping his foot around it on the volley, and we should be saying that Richards Bay has pulled one back.
Yep. Dino van Rooyen was pinned to him as he made that run in the box, but then he shook his marker and was all alone. Mahangota! Well, we know he can. Not this time. And it was against the KZN side that he smashed in one of two that day against Amazulu. Jose Rivero, watching on a man who has overseen 25 domestic cup matches since joining Orlando Pirates. 20 wins, 2 draws. The draws obviously coming in the two-legged empty and 8 ties, including wins and losses on penalties here as well. And just 3 defeats. One of those in a two-legged tie against Stellenbosch, where they did go on to progress. The other in the draw against Richards Bay, they lost on penalties, and then that game against Magesi this season. It's a fabulous, almost unbelievable record in cups.
Stevie Barker, one of those that can say I've beaten Jose Rivero in a cup game. The same, Clinton Larsen can say the same. Would Papi Zotwani be claiming that win also on the bench of Richards Bay?
Lots of space here for Ndaba to exploit. The cross is a good one. Tuma's connection with it not matching. I think there might have been an Orlando Pirates head involved in that miscue. Mapua thumps it away. His first Nedbank Cup appearance came as a teenager for Santos against Orlando Pirates back in 2014. Tapo Mabua. Now Kumende. Spotting some options. The acrobatic effort from Mutlami is wide.
He might not be testing the goalkeeper enough, but I'm loving the late runs. Gumed, positive, driving Richards Bay forward. The excellent positioning that comes from Mutlome, always positioning himself in between the right centre back and the right back in Van Rooyen and Sasani. 2 attempts so far, one that should have resulted in a goal. He's doing a lot of work off the ball, which is very good for Richards Bay. They must just find him consistently, and I see him hitting this Orlando Pirates team.
1 goal for Richards Bay since arriving at the club. This is his 2nd season since joining from Utsangati. It was a very crucial goal as well. Came in a 1-0 win over Cape Town Spurs last season. His free kick is straight to Buthelezi. .26 years old, Milusi Buthelezi is a towering presence for Orlando Pirates. Stands at 6'4", but Sipho Chain has worn the gloves this season because he suits precisely the way Orlando Pirates want to play. Dion Hotto. Cut out en route to Van Rooyen by Tsundwana. Should have clawed one back for Pirates just a couple of minutes ago. Delicate touch from Mofokeng. Up against Dube. He's been sitting on that yellow card for the past 30 or so minutes. Mofokeng again. Asking a lot of Makaula. Goal kick.
Mr. Belotoki looking for an option. He's floating. Good skill, good first touch, good double-up defense. Mteto gives the extra cover. They end up winning the ball back. That is Richards Bay. 8 goals in all competitions for Rile Mufokeng.
Yep.
To go together with the 11 assists in all competitions.
Unbelievable contribution. A couple in the league, a couple in the League Cup, and 4 in the CAF Champions League. What an impact from such a young man. Coming back from an offside position is Mabasa.
Did they end up granting him that goal, or is it Gilberto's goal?
Yeah. Well, since Gilberto has since left.
He left the goal.
Yeah, he's left the goal. As far as I know, CAF still waited to announce the date of the draw for the quarterfinals as Sundwana is beaten to it by Buthelezi, who gets a blow to his head for his troubles.
Good ball blow from Takasani Mteto. I don't think there's anything malicious. Yes, there is contact with the head of Melusi. I think he's trying to jump, that is Ntundwana, but he catches Buthelezi late on the head. Nothing malicious, but there is contact. I think the man in your picture, Jose Rivera, will look at the first 45 and you'll be happy about it. Maybe not happy that they did not kick on. On the other side of Richards Bay, I'm sure that they'll be happy that they created opportunities, unhappy that they did not take those opportunities. They defended well in the first 15 minutes, but I think they got a little bit tired as the half went on.
Gumede, he's probably been Richards Bay's standout player up to this point. He's found a lot of space on that flank. He's delivered in a few decent balls. This is another, and it's produced a corner. So the closing seconds of the first half, this round of 32 match in the Nedbank Cup, Richards Bay have an opportunity to try and reduce Orlando Pirates' advantage. Daba, the corner comes all the way through to him. There's a whistle to signal the end of the first 45. Orlando Pirates seemingly with 1 foot in the last 16. Maungkot has been influential. Rile Mofokeng has 2 assists. And it is Patrick Maswangani whose name will appear twice on the score sheet. He's beaten this man on 2 occasions. Pumuzo.
Orlando Pirates will be happy with the 2-0 lead. It's a cup competition. The big question is, are they closing up the game in the second half? Are they looking for more goals? Mavasa will not be happy that it's not on the score sheet. This Richards Bay team did not play badly. They just did not take their chances. They have worked their socks off. What will the coaches do during the break that will influence the next 45 minutes?
Orlando Pirates have a terrific record in the first round of the Nedbank Cup. They've hardly ever been knocked out in this round over the course of the PSL era, and they are leading by 2-0 against Richards Bay. of the derby, because Natsipisi will be back from suspension. Nkota gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Patrick Maswangani from outside.
Season in all competition. For me, it's the work that is done by Nkota to be able to give that cut back to find Rile Mufokeng. He waits and waits for Tito to get into position. He's under pressure to have a shot at goal at this instance, but secondary assist, Nkota, assist, Rile Mufokeng, Tito Maswangani, the late run, the timing, the ability to finish under pressure. Well taken goal, Tito.
Gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh. Gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Of the derby, because Natsipisi will be back from suspension. Nkota gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Of the derby, because Natsipisi will be back from suspension. Nkota gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! Of the derby, because Natsipisi will be back from suspension. Nkota gets a bit of Ndaba, slightly behind Mufokeng. You know he can make magic happen from anywhere. Oh, so can he! As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same two players combined.
For Rile Mufokeng. Good work by Makaula. Look at Nkota. He waits, finds Rile Mufokeng, waits for Tito Maswangani to get into the box. The understanding between the three players is the give and go from Kinder Joy, who's Nkota, finds Rile Mufokeng on that D-line. The ability to rest, to wait for Tito Maswangani to get into position. Goal number 4 in all competitions. Goal number 2 in this game.
As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second! Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second! Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani.
Having to do a lot of defensive work because he needs to track Makaula and the likes of Umbata when they come to receive.
As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same two players combined. And Orlando Pirates look like they are running away with it.
Having to do a lot of defensive work because he needs to track Makaula and the likes of Umbata when they come to receive.
As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same two players combined. And Orlando Pirates look like they are running away with it.
Having to do a lot of defensive work because he needs to track Makaula and the likes of Umbata when they come to receive.
As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same two players combined. And Orlando Pirates look like they are running away with it. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second for Maswangani. The same two players combined. And Orlando Pirates look like they are running away with it. As he done by Nkota. Mufokeng. Oh, it's so clever from Mufokeng, and it's a second. A terrific spell midway through the first period produced 2 Maswanganyi goals for Orlando Pirates, and they lead by that margin over Richards Bay here at the Kings Willetini Stadium in the last 32 of the 2025 Nedbank Cup. None of the games so far have needed any extra time to be decided. The game on Friday and the 5 yesterday all finished during regulation time. We are also yet to see a true upset in the Cup, and unless Richards Bay can produce an almighty salvage act, that doesn't seem likely here this afternoon either. Well, the Orlando Pirates fans have absolutely packed out this venue. It is a sold-out affair. Those that came about 2 hours early were able to get the premium spots on the grandstand under shade as they watch their beloved Buccaneers perform against Richards Bay, a side that they've scraped past twice this campaign already in the league. Siyabonga Dube, who was on a yellow card for 35 minutes, makes way alongside Sumilun Sundwana, and Sianet Lamini will come on for Dube. Tapiso Kutumela, this is an interesting one. He's come off the bench so many times this season, but a bit of extra incentive maybe for Kutumela to really show his best in this match.
Looking at that substitutions that were made, the coach wanting to save Dube, bringing in Dlamini and right back is like for like. On the other side, you're seeing Tsundwana being thrown off. Does it mean that you will see Muthomme go wide on the left-hand side? Then Kutumela will play just as the 10 behind Mbutuma, or will Kutumela play next to Mbutuma so that they change to 4-4-2 formation? It's a cup game. They can try and get a goal back as much as possible.
Space for Maswanganyi, past 1. Lays it off for King. The referee right on top of the action says the ball was won cleanly. Bata for King, not his best pass. Kumete spotting an option in Motlame. Sesane. Proving, Sisani, that the prevailing sentiment about needing to be huge and powerful to play the North African teams in CAF competitions is patently false.
Good performance, but for me, it's his reading of the game, good anticipation. He uses the ball well, so he did well. Just to add to the fact that you've just stated about playing Champions League and having to be big.
For King, seeking to ping it to Nkota. No cutouts. Muslam. Gumete getting the better of Hotto. Immediately takes a strike, follow-up from Putuma. Flag stays down. Richards Bay catching Pirates cold 2 minutes after the resumption of the match. And now we do have a game on our hands.
Goal number 4 in all competitions for Mbutuma. He has been knocking all afternoon. Gumed on the right-hand side. Good tussle with Dion Otto. He wins that second phase. Buthelezi parries the ball back into play, gives a gift to Mbutuma, who taps in this instance. Critical phase of the game. Orlando Pirates a little bit lethargic in coming out from the change room, puts it back in the back of the net. That is Mbutuma. Well taken goal.
Well, he's been most effective with his head this season, but this time staying alive to the possibility of Buthelezi palming that towards him. That's precisely what happened. And now Orlando Pirates will be a little nervy.
Grant, maybe tell the viewers what happened at half time.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've seen 2 right-sided defensive players warming up. Not that they could have anticipated that Dino van Rooyen would now be having an issue, unless there was something they noticed at the end of the first half that's now just beginning to materialize a little more as we look at the goals from Maswanganyi in the first half. But just
for
to
me,
finish that, complete that picture, Shandu and Ndlozi warming up at half
because
time.
when everybody went in at half time, Orlando Pirates took out Shandu and Ndlozi. Then they were warming up throughout the 15 minutes break. I thought there was a change imminent at that time, but when they came back on, you saw that all the 11 players that started the game then came back onto the field of play.
Well, that group of supporters believe that Orlando Pirates will defend and will make it 3 in succession for the first time in the PSL era and for just the second time since 73, 74 and 1975 when the Buccaneers won it 3 times in succession. And now we will see the introduction of Siyabonga Ndlozi. It was maybe a surprise for some to see him emerge against Al Ahly, but that was out of necessity with Libitso injured against the Red Devils a week ago. And so the young man who turned 22 last month will get an opportunity. He was born not so far from here, was Siyabonga Ndlozi, just northwest of Mlazi in Dassenhoek. A man who played Diski Challenge for Le Mans for Golden Arrow, spent a little while at TS Galaxy prior to that. Then at Orlando Pirates DDC team, before going out on loan to Orbit College last season and recalled for this campaign.
Another one from their own pot, that is Orlando Pirates in Ndlozi, captained the DDC team at some point in his career. He can play at right back, he can play at centre back. I'm told they say very hard on the tackles. He's got a good engine up and down that right hand side. A great opportunity to announce himself. He did well, I thought, under difficult conditions in Cairo the other week.
Yeah, agree. It makes me wonder if perhaps his parents, his family are here. As I said, not born too far. Just outside of Pinetown, a little bit further on from Marion Hill. Just to give you an idea of where exactly he hails from, as Malusi Buthelezi misplaces his pass for Dion Hotto, and the crowd get on his back. His understudy today is the 23-year-old Siyabonga Ndlozi. Sipachain not even part of the match day squad, as Rele Mufokeng moves it on deftly into the path of Hotto. Masangang gets away from him. Here's Gumede. Effectively created that goal for Richards Bay early in this half. Orlando Pirates in the PSL era, that's spanning almost 30 years now, have only been eliminated in the first round of the National Cup on 4 occasions. Oh, that's rolled brilliantly in the path of Gumede again, and he cuts it back unselfishly. It's just behind Butuma and then not controlled by Mohlami, but a couple of great opportunities for the Natal Rich boys. This is Tlakusani Mtetwa. Butuma onside, but can do nothing more than just prevent the goal kick thrown for Orlando Pirates.
Good work, Mbutuma. Good pressure coming from Richards Bay. Mtetwa playing a little bit closer to the front runners. This is a transitional opportunity. It's 3 versus 2 in that moment. Butuma's first touch, that should be 2-all. Mohlame starting the attack on the left-hand side. Gumede has been a thorn in this defense of Orlando Pirates. They need to reorganize, that is Orlando Pirates. They need to refocus, but good pressure coming from Richards Bay. Mohlame, Butuma, Gumede causing problems.
Oh, the only goal Richards Bay have had scored before Butuma's strike today. It did come from a throw in a similar position, but they chose not to launch it into the box. Oh, caught up, but it's gone.
The youngsters are taking it literally. Go enjoy yourself on the field of play.
Effectively, it's a free hit for them. I spoke to Ronnie Gabriel before the game. He said, of course, the focus is on the league. Probably their biggest game so far, coming up Friday this week against Magesi. And here they are, in with a shout. And this is the 12th match that they played in the Nedbank Cup, or they are playing in the Nedbank Cup. Kota looks for a way through, can't find it. And they have scored now in 10 of the 12 matches they played in the Nedbank Cup since they were a first division team, as Butuma takes on Koki, keeps possession. Gumede. Slongo! Whoa! Rippled the roof of the net.
Good attitude. Good positional play. Good field occupation. Gumede, the late run from Mutongo to receive just in the pocket between Makaula and also the two centre backs. Unlucky not to get on target. The tactical switch that Richards Bay has made at the break is really working.
Yep.
To bring in Kutumela to occupy the pocket just in between the midfield line and the defensive line. Mutlome causing problems on the left-hand side.
Given away by Makaula. And the Pirates looking a little jittery. Certainly not as settled as they were. I think Mutlame has misjudged that. He would have been able to keep that ball in and he continued his run. He gave up a little prematurely. I think the nerves are also apparent in the stands. One goal advantage, not quite the same as the two-goal cushion. Justin Bainclos, Bata. Back to Sisani. And the Pirates today become the 10th team that Richards Bay have faced in the Nedbank Cup. Besides, they've met more than once. Bloemfontein Celtic, twice whilst they were still a first division side, and then more recently Mamelodi Sundowns knocked them out in the first round. Back-to-back competitions in 2022, lost 4-0 to Sundowns. Much closer in 2023, gave it a good go, lost 3-2. Richards Bay in their 6 participations in the Nedbank Cup have progressed 4 times previously. Good effort from Mbata off the mark.
He has been hitting them from that range this season. 4 goals so far in all competition. Good combination, little triangle combos. Tito Elibe on his way, but he tries to bend one. You can see the idea. Did not get the curl that he actually wanted to test Otiano in goals.
Dlamini on as a sub at half-time. One former Arrows man replacing another former Bafana Bastede defender. The deepest Richards Bay have ever progressed in this competition came in 2021, where they beat the Soweto Giant in the first round, 2-1 winners over Kaizer Chiefs. They beat TS Sporting in the last 16. They eventually fell to Chipper in the quarterfinals. So the last 8 is as far as they've previously ever made it.
That's a yellow. Late, mistimes his tackle. Doesn't get anywhere closer to the ball, gets the man. I think when looking at Chabani, he's just checking on the injured player. Then he will go back and deal with Nkota a little bit later.
Nkota has his name taken. I saw Ronnie Gabriel a moment ago with Richard Bay's recent record in this cup reflected next to him. They did get through the round of 32 last season. 3-2 win over Polokwane City. They eventually fell to SuperSport United in the last 16. Daba, Butuma, swung in by Richard Bay's goal scorer. Mufokeng, lovely skills. But then, given away, Gumede. Too strong for Butuma to challenge for it. Approaching the hour mark. The home side, by the way, 11 previous appearances in the Nedbank Cup proper have never gone to a penalty shootout. They have in the prelim rounds when they were back in the NFD. Of course, you have to qualify against another first division side, but never in the actual Nedbank Cup. And today they could force a shootout potentially. Been involved in 2 shootouts in the League Cup and they've won both against Cape Town City this season, Orlando Pirates last. Stlakisani Mtetwa makes a case for himself, having won the ball. The call still goes in favor of Mufokeng.
They double up on Gumede. He wins the ball. That is really Mufokeng. He does get a nibble on his ankle. That is Gumede. The referee deeming that not to be malicious or breaking a promising attack, so it's just a talking to Gumede.
Since Nedbank came on board as sponsors in 2008, Orlando Pirates have played 50 games in the National Cup. They've won 37 of those, lost 13. That's including wins and losses on penalties. What a record they do have as Mufokeng ignites the crowd. Dlozi shown too much of the ball. Mutlame holds on to it. Finds Gumede. Dion Otto. Now Mbata. Not looking all too convincing from the Buccaneers, who were floating in the first half.
Richards Bay just looks 2 steps ahead of Pirates every time Pirates are in position.
That must have been some half-time team talk. Perhaps with a word or two from Papi Sotwani, who would have been telling the boys, I did this earlier this season. Maswangani doing what Maswangani does, although that's not his best work. Stlakisani Mtetwa from Butuma. Still in Butuma. At a deflection, just wide. Well, they could have gone differently. In fact, the initial ball from Mtetwa was actually intended for Mutlame, and then there was an opportunity to pass to him as well from Butuma.
Great attitude from Richards Bay. Good pressing, Butuma. Decision making. Do you go left? Do you go right? Do you go yourself for that shot? A little bit selfish for me. I thought you could have used Kutumela. You could have used Mutlame. Orlando Pirates, in terms of Pepe, keeping his feet. taking away space and time in that instance nearly resulted in a goal transition. Again, Richards Bay looking a little bit sharper in that midfield in terms of winning the ball back and going on that transition.
Outswinging delivery from Gumede, easily dealt with by Mbata. You could see from the reaction of Tlakusani Mteto as he played that ball forward that it wasn't intended for Mbutuma, and it might have sent Motlame clean through had it found him. Here's Nkota. Making the challenge is Dlamini, corner to come. So there'll be a couple of changes here. One apiece. Let's first reports on a change here for Orlando Pirates as Moao Nkota, who has picked up a yellow card, is withdrawn. We switch our attention to Richards Bay, where Motlame comes off and the former Arrows man, Panisa Konko, is on. But now, this is a big moment. Bandile Shandu earned some minutes, a man who has struggled terribly with injuries. I mean, how long did he have the moon boot on? Is it an awful time with ankle and surgery? Good to see him back in the mix. Mufokeng, drill towards goal on the volley. Look at the fight shown. Play paused. Tatuma down. That ball thumped straight into his midriff.
Is the elbow of Tlakusani Mteto on Mavasa, then is the ball that strikes Mbutuma on the abdominal area from the relay shot. The referee feeling that maybe there's something serious with Mavasa because it's a head injury. That's why they stopped the play. But going back to that substitution that was made by Orlando Pirates, when you're bringing in Shandu for Moao Nkota, it means that Shandu will then play higher up on the field. We know him from his Marisbeck days, where he used to play as an 8, where he used to play as a winger. So Coach Rivero using him high up on the field, also just to assist maybe the youngster in Ndlozi on that right-hand side, just to bring a little bit of stability on that right-hand side. On the other side, Musomme being withdrawn, then they bring in on Kongo, a former Marisbeck United winger, a lot of pace, trickery on the ball as the ability to bring in a cross. So those are the two changes that the two benches have gone for.
Now Bandile Shandu has a good relationship with this competition, made his debut for Maritzburg United in the Nedbank Cup 9 years ago and scored in a 3-1 win over Black Leopards during a period that you refer to where he was deployed as a more attacking player.
Versatile, can play at fullback, can play as a winger, can play inside as an 8. It's good to see him back after that long injury, Bandile Shandu.
Otieno waiting until he spotted some movement from Butuma. Mistimes his leap. Shandu's first involvement. And Mabasa is fouled by Konko. Just over 20 minutes to go in this match of regulation time, that is. The first meeting between Richards Bay and Pirates that has seen both teams score, and the highest scoring match in what is the 8th time that they are crossing paths. Fairly bizarre free kick from Dion Hotto. And in a season where Richards Bay have really struggled, matches against Gauteng sides have not treated them all too well. They have lost all 5 matches that they've played against teams from Gauteng this season. Oh, brilliantly done. Now, Mbata, his initial touch let him down. Otieno was able to scurry off his line and avert the danger. There's Mufokeng, stealing it from Tlhagazani Mthethwa. Nice ball to find Maswanyane. Made off for Makaula. Hotto. Given away by Dion Hotto. Butuma. Back with Orlando Pirates. Maswanyane. Dion Hotto. Nice ball through for Mabasa. Still he continues on. Wonderful defending. Opted not to pull the trigger early. I thought it would when it fell to his left.
But good cover defense coming from Mabua. We spoke about him playing as the left centre back today. We had question marks as to how he's going to cope. He dealt well with that situation, stayed with Mabasa as close as possible, and I think it was his tightness on him that gave Mabasa that doubt not to have the first time shot.
Taneka, taken off his toes by Maswanyane, takes over from Tloki. Shut. Dlozi moving into space. Doesn't receive the pass. This is Langelihle Mhlongo for Richards Bay. Good battling. Medez looked really good in this game from a Richards Bay perspective, and here he is on the ball again. This time given away, Maswanyane. Nice ball here for Mabasa. Offside. Butuma dispossessed by Sisani. Mthethwa. Taneka. Dlamini. Picked off by Mbata. Maswanyane. Asking too much there. Mabasa, who continues to go. Takabasa Mabasa! Oh, saved by Otieno is brilliant.
Frustration on Tshegofatso Mabasa. He says, I want that goal. Good relationship to see that Tito with that delightful ball. But Mabua again taking his eyes off the ball, worried more about Mabasa. He tries to go across the goals with that shot, but it's good to see the first man that encourages him is the man he's competing with in evidence, Mahopa, to say, go back, son. Go back and try and finish the job. Great save by Otieno in goals.
Stroked in by Maswanyane, took a deflection. Makaula. Dlamini away. Pass too heavy for Spinoza Konto. away cheaply once again. Tetwa. Goal kick. It's looking promising for Richards Bay every time they get forward. A side who came into this game having lost their last 4 home games in a row and having scored just once over those last 4 home games. The Tumas consolation against Amazulu. Now a couple of changes for Pirates, and you will feel, I'm sure, Pumuzo, that something needs to change, so perhaps these alterations are what is required. Dlamini.
We spoke about Toki having played 7 minutes only before today's game. He only lasted 74 minutes in this game. Captain Fantastic in Mayela is about to come on. It's a straight swap, one left centre back for another left centre back, and then the other man that is coming on is Dlamini, going to be important in that midfield, who's going to come in and slot into that 8 role and play alongside Tale. He's coming on for Talentum, but he's going to slot in alongside Makaula and also Tito Maswanganyi in that midfield.
Oh, good to see Tapela Nkoki get 75 minutes on his legs. Kabelo Dlamini, match winner when these two sides first met in the league this season. Terrific free kick inside the final 10 minutes of the match. Nissa Mayela actually played more minutes than anyone else in the Nedbank Cup for Orlando Pirates last season. They featured in all 5 of their games. Now alongside Sisani at the heart of defence with a quarter hour left to see out. Putuma rises highest. Shlong. Send it Dlamini. Neka. Kumede wants an option. It's a clever little touch forward here for Tlakusani Mteto at the back heel to Ndaba. A deflection causing problems for Melusi Putelezi. Well, the signal from a first assistant, Kamelo Ramutsindela, is that it is a goal kick, but clearly took a deflection.
But look how far up Tlakusani Mteto is. He's high up, he's on the D-line. That's him on the ball. That's him facing Sassan. He says something is going wrong in that midfield of Orlando Pirates because he's running straight at the centre backs undetected. So there's something that is totally going wrong just in front of that back four. We know that Makaula, one of his roles is to shield and protect that back four. But when the midfielders like Mhlongo, Mteto are finding space like that in front of that defense, that should be worrying for Jose Rivero. But that should be good news for Papi Zotwani and co.
For King dispossessed. Tetwa with a miscue. Otto retrieves, still under pressure. And the Pirates have suffered just 1 defeat in their last 8 outings in all competitions. And the mother city, Cape Town City, beating them. In fact, it's the only away game they've lost this season. They're 10 matches on the road. They've won 6 and drawn 3. Dlamini with plenty of space here to pick out Mufokeng. And in turn, attempts to find Maswanganyi. Not successful.
Interchange of positions, really receiving on the inside. Tito then giving the team a little bit of width in the wide areas. The pass, a little bit too much power on the pass, and Tito can get there.
Innocent Mayela playing for and helping to promote Thunder Royal Zulu, who and relinquish their status to Amazulu, and Amazulu's first division status was purchased by Richards Bay. Just back in 2016-17. Out on loan from Orlando Pirates. A man who, like many at the Buccaneers, came through their own development. Made his delivery. Teto. Little dink forward. Butuma. Mapasa away. Orlando Pirates and their supporters will be hoping, for various reasons, this does not go to a penalty shootout. They've been involved in 6 shootouts since 2008. They've won just 2 of them. They did win the most recent shootout, though. That was in 2023 when they got past Dundalk Stars in the quarterfinal. Dundalk Stars that got past SuperSport United, featuring Patrick Maswanganyi in the first round. That was the only Nedbank Cup game he had played until arriving at Orlando Pirates and playing all the way through the tournament into the final and scoring. Remarkable to think Patrick Maswanganyi now has more Nedbank Cup goals than he has in any other competition. 6 Nedbank Cup goals, more than he has in the Betway Premiership and the CAF Champions League. Sesani. Close. Makaula. Mayela Tohoto. Back to the Bucks skipper. Inside the final 10 minutes here at the Kings Oletini Stadium. Tekvasa Mabasa. First ever Nedbank Cup goal against Richards Bay. He could be looking for his 6th against the same team. Still operating as a focal point of their attack. Evidence Mahopa waits in the wings. The potential change that could be made. And speaking of changes, it will be Richards Bay who look to their bench first in these closing stages.
Grant, Orlando Pirates can't make another change because Orlando Pirates have stopped the game 3 times already. So there's no opportunity. They stopped the game when Dozy came on, they stopped the game when Shandu came on, and they stopped the game when the double sub came in. So you can only stop the game 3 times to make substitutions. They've only brought on 4. They still have 1 more, but they can't make it because they've made 3 stops already in the game.
And they didn't utilize the half-time break, which would have negated that particular rule. And then it could be very worrying here because the signal is that Maswanganyi might be in a little bit of trouble. As that fan that we focused on for a moment foreshadows what will be taking place in 6 days' time. Very busy today. Were both Langelihle Mhlongo and Tulani Gumede. And we will see Richards Bay freshen things up. A on-loan man from Kaizer Chiefs, Khadebe, coming on alongside 19-year-olds from their academy, Tapisa Mdem.
I think they've taken out the 2 most dangerous players this afternoon in Songo and also Gumede. Gumede was giving problems to Dion Otto. Songo's late runs in behind Makaula was giving Orlando Pirates some instability in between the lines. So those 2 players being withdrawn, I think it will be a relief for Jose Ribeiro to say those players were the players that were giving problems. Take nothing away from Ndeli, that is coming on in that midfield role, very creative, can also pack a powerful shot when given space and time. Radebe, former Kaizer Chiefs man in that midfield, will also bring a lot of stability.
Tuma takes a little nudge, but the ball still flies through. And Delu almost pounced upon it. And then Radebe. Mabasa keeps it alive. For King. Neka. Tonto. Radebe. Closey. Competently done. Five minutes of regulation time remaining here. Kutumela can't control. Went deep into the competition with Baroka 10 or so years ago. It's Kutumela cut out by Makaula. Oh, Masangani, Tlamini. Lucky there, Kabila Tlamini. Losing out again. This time, though, gets the call in his favor.
Lucky twice, the ball ricocheted or bounced for him. Good cover defense coming from Shandu. Good midfield battle with Ndaba, Radebe that just came on, Tetwa. Unlucky for Richards Bay. I thought a fair challenge on Zamin in that moment, but he gets the call.
Time ticking away here at the Kings Villatini Stadium in a match that has produced as many goals this afternoon as in the 5 previous meetings between these two sides combined. Butalezi's antics roused the fans.
The way they were shouting, la la, la la. They can feel the pressure from Richards Bay, the supporters, if they are calling for the goalkeeper to go down in that moment.
Slid in well, didn't close. Shandu intercepted, but the ball given away. Delu. Daba. Nam Tetwa. Sandat Lamini. Shandu has his heels clipped. Corner kick. Mabua asked to do a job at centre half. Oh, Jose Rivero has already bagged a truckload of money for Orlando Pirates since his arrival from Finland 2.5 years ago. are looking to make history this season in the Nedbank Cup, as they did in the MTN 8. First side to win it 3 times in a row, the top 8 competition. Makaula, fair challenge. Dion Hotter, Innocent Mayel. Blocked off was Mufokeng. So tried to latch onto that pass. Shandu, right, nice neat touch from the returning player. Dlamini, intercepted by Mtetwa, his former Celtic teammate, picking the pockets of the Richards Bay midfielder. Ramabasa again, Hotto. Mayela getting away from Butuma, but not from Kontro. And Ellen Butuma races onto it. Well, inside the final minute of regulation time, you have to wonder whether this kind of patience is best for the trailing side. But perhaps they're prioritizing conjuring a few really good quality opportunities rather than rushing it. We are into 3 minutes of additional time. Second half, in which there haven't been all too many stoppages.
Critical phase of the game. Orlando Pirates still leading, 3 minutes still to play. How do they see this game off? How do they manage the rest of this game? You're speaking about Richards Bay to say they remain patient. They are not just bombing the ball forward. They are looking to find passes and little combinations to be able to go to wide areas and find crosses.
Delu waiting for the overlap. Nicely cut out. Asangani. Josie trying to keep up with him. He's tugged down off the ball. Play continues. I'm not sure if that would have counted as advantage because there was a definite tug off the ball there. And Josie was trying to make a dart in behind. It was such a clear foul, and I was sure that Mr. Chabani did have eyes on it.
Seems like he missed that one.
It's Dlamini, Mufokeng. Under 90 seconds to go. Dion Hotto. Kaula. He thought he'd shielded it out for a box throw-in. Hotto being harried here by Butuma. Masangani with a lovely touch. Dawa brings him down. Under a minute to go. They've actually taken the free kick quickly. Mabasa! And the nerves evaporate in the closing seconds as Orlando Pirates get their third. A man whose first ever goal in the Nedbank Cup came against Richards Bay 6 years ago, gets another against the Natal Rich boys.
I'm tempted to say goal number 9 in all competitions, because the other one against the CAF, against Al Ali, we're not sure about. One of my colleagues watching, Thomas Mulambo, says the goal was granted to Mabasa. A delightful pass coming from Dlamini. The understanding between the two players comes all the way from the Celtic days. Secondary assist, Tito assist coming from Dlamini. Mabasa puts it in the back of the net. Goal number 9 in all competition. Every youngster is taught, when the angle is like that, Grant, go across the goalkeeper. He does the basics well. Jose Rivero and his technical team celebrate. I think the game is settled. I think Orlando Pirates to the next round.
Well, the finish was crisp and accurate, but the turn was absolutely sensational. And Orlando Pirates, who have not enjoyed a particularly good second half, now rubber stamped their progression through to the last 16. They get the job done. In KZN, Tito Maswanganyi with 2. Tsirivasa Mabasa late on, after Richards Bay had pulled one back through Batuma. And for the 5th season in succession, Orlando Pirates move past the first round, and for the 3rd time under that man, Jose Rivero, who's won it twice.
I think Orlando Pirates totally dominated the first 45 minutes. When it came to the second half, I thought there was a period for 20-25 minutes where Richards Bay really put pressure on Orlando Pirates. I thought even the crowd were a little bit quiet because of the pressure that Gumede was putting, Musomme was putting, Musongo in that midfield were putting. Butuma's relentless runs up top in behind the defense of Orlando Pirates. But again, it's the experience of that man in your picture, Dlamini, that man in your picture in Tito Maswanganyi. That quick free kick then seals the game for them. Mabasa, the top goal scorer from last season, gets goal number 9 in all competition. I think overall deserved to be in the next round, Orlando Pirates, but they were pushed by this Richards Bay team.
Now Richards Bay came out of the break. They started so well. Nelan Batuma, about 90 seconds after the restart, pulling one back for Richards Bay, who pushed hard to try and find the equalizer, but ultimately it was not to be, and Orlando Pirates progress once again. They avoid the lottery of penalties, where they have not been all too good of late. And the Buccaneers advance through to the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup.